All right, next up is step 4 here. We've done steps 1, 2, and 3 in the previous video. We're going to go ahead and do step 4, which itself is really pretty simple, especially in this one. We're not really solving problems. We're just testing or driving some other operations here. So we'll go ahead and take a look at it here. I've stuck in some things up above. There's the main. I've got some data here we'll be using. And here, got the title on here that we did before, the get string length that we've done before. And now it's time to do that display result to user, which actually we did that before as well. We put the test string out there. Now we're going to do the copy string, which is copying from a source to a destination. And then from there, we'll print that result, the copied string. All of these will be good tests here. The concatenate string, same story. We'll take a I'm pretty sure of it and add it to the other string being this guy right here. Okay, now we're going to display the concatenate test. So we'll get that string is. We're going to test compare. So we're going to do a compare string here. And we're going to ask the question if it's greater than stir EQ. Now stir EQ is just 0 really. But for a reader of this, they say, okay, if it's greater than stir equal, then Sally must be greater than Roger. And we'll have to assume that, and that's what we'll print, assuming this test passes and it works. Same story here. Cindy is less than Sally. This is less than 0 or less than string equal. So we'll build our block. We will stick in our printing there. And then coming into compare string here, this time we are going to ask if it is equal to string EQ. Build our block, put in our print that out. And then we'll come on down here to getting the substring. We're going to find the substring and the other string. Now this is coming out of that original string we had, starting at 34 and going to 44 inclusive. In other words, it's going to start right at that number, and the last character will be at index 44 of the other string. So we're going to get this other string is going to be a source. This will be a destination. And then when we get this out, we will print it out. The finding substring will simply be, can we find pretty sure inside of that other string? And it's in there. We know it's in there because we put it in there just a little bit ago here. I'm pretty sure of it from those numbers there. So we're going to come out of that, and we should see that number 34 actually. So when we print that out, we'll find out that that's coming through correctly, if it does. All of these are tests. We are going to set the string to the lowercase, and from there print out what we got from the lowercase string. Remember, I took all of these up above and set them up as data. Okay. Now one thing to note right here in the middle, I'll do it at the end just because of the video to save a little time here. But the fact of the matter is, every time I put in a couple of lines of code like this, I would compile it and make sure that this is working correctly. Just as a compile, you're not going to run it, but compile it. It keeps you from just having 50 different messages when you get to the end if you made some semicolon mistakes or whatever. Okay, now we're going to get the string to the delimiter. Now we're going to use a file in source here, but we're actually going to take it from the command line because stdin or stdin, standard in, looks like a file pointer to the system. So it's going to actually think that it's talking to a file when it's talking to the input of the operation. Later, when you're working with this, you're going to be using this as a file operation. And when you get that, you'll get that string to get out of there. Same story for here. You're going to go to the end of the line. This one used a character period to catch it, remembering that the period will be consumed. So I'll get a string out of that. This one doesn't have any delimiters. It's going to go to the end of the line. So it just needs the file pointer to get the stream, the data stream, and then the capture string to put that into. And then we'll print that out right there. Now what I would do here is I would go through and compile this, and we show a good compile. This is far more critical than it looks. The very, very important thing about this is I'm not even writing a program yet, nothing but a test bed. I haven't written any of the functions, but I am confident that all the way through the main function, this is ready to rock and roll. All I have to do is go back to the functions, and what I'll do when I write the functions is I will test each function. Sometimes I'll even compile while I'm writing lines in the function. 2, 3 lines, I'll compile all the way along. But I'll definitely not go on to a next function if something doesn't compile. This is how to write code and not take all night long trying to solve problems with errors and messages. Okay, this is really not a very long one. It's pretty easy and pretty fast because, again, we're using the 6-step programming process. We simply fill in lines and blanks wherever we find them. We just answer the questions we've kind of given ourselves from a previous time. So we have step 4 ready to go here, and we'll go ahead and wrap this video up now.